Hello, this is Seda from All I Knit podcast, and here we are for the fall knitting. Let's start with the finished object first, which is the last finished object of my summer knits and crochets. I mostly crochet during summer, so I will not be talking about all the crochet pieces that I finished this summer. It's all on my Instagram, and some of them are on my Ravelry page. So if you are curious, you can just go visit my Instagram account and Ravelry page. Both of them are linked down below. So this is the Cloudberry Tee by Fibertales. It's a very simple stockinette tee, which has those little cute colorwork motifs here on the sleeves. So these are bubbles, and this is a simple stranded work colorwork. It was very fun to knit. I haven't swatched for it. The pattern calls for 10 centimeters of positive ease, I guess. Let me check. Yes, 4 inches of positive ease. I think I have more than 4 inches. As you can see, it's kind of like 20-25 centimeters of positive ease, I guess I have. So I knitted it in size 2. Had I gauge swatched, I think I would have knitted size 1 instead. I used BC Garn BioBalance, which is 55% pure organic wool, 45% pure organic cotton. So it's a great choice for summer knits. And I really like to wear wool blend kind of tops and tanks and tees for transitional seasons like fall and spring. So this is like, I've been wearing this a lot lately since we're in fall, yeah. And I love it. And people who see, like they're not knitting related, like my colleagues or friends, they really like it too. They say it's so cute because it's so cute. So you start, it's kind of a contiguous method. Can I say that? Because you start knitting the shoulder slopes first. They're not they're not too big, too large. They're small ones, and there are some short rows, both in the back and in the front of the slope. And then you pick up stitches for the front. First you connect the back, and then you connect the fronts, and then you knit the body in the round. Then you pick up for the sleeves, and yeah, here is the back of the color work. And it doesn't, the finishing touches, it doesn't require Italian bind off kind of stuff. It's just normal bind off because it's 3x1 rib here at the neckline, here in the sleeves hem, and here at the body hem. And yeah, I really love this tee, and I'm very happy that I knit it. Moving on to whips. Let's start with the Birkin by Caitlin Hunter. So this is a colorwork yoke sweater. You start with casting on for the neck rib with smaller needles. Then you knit a couple of rounds of plain stockinette, and there are some short rows here at the back so that you can just drop the front and raise the back, and then you go on knitting the color yoke. Oh, it looks pretty. It looks prettier on screen now. Now that I see here. I am using Rowan Felted Tweed balls, which is not the recommended yarns because the pattern calls for a fingering weight yarn and Rowan Felted Tweed is a decay weight yarn. So what I did instead, I calculated my gauge according to my bust circumference and then chose the suitable size in the pattern. If I had the correct weight of yarn, which is the fingering weight, I would be knitting size 3. But now that I have a decay weight yarn, I am knitting size 1. And I am loving it. I don't want to stop knitting this. I have a couple of other works in progresses, but this one keeps me occupied because I love working on it. And yeah, it's and the first time I decided to knit this one is the one that I saw it on Fibertales podcast, which is the designer of the Cloudberry Tee. She also has a podcast. If you don't know, just go check her YouTube account because she's really amazing and she's an amazing person. The first time I saw this on her YouTube page, YouTube account, YouTube podcast, I was really in love with hers, so I decided to knit one for myself. Her colors are great too, but I am very happy with my colors too. So I am using, for the base color, I am using Rowan Felted Tweed in the colorway Stone. So the shade is 190. This is the shade that I'm using as the base color. This is the green shade that I'm using. The colorway is 158. It looks bluish on the screen. It's very leafy green, if I can say so, in real life, in person. And these are Felted Tweed color that I am using for the shades here. These are, even though these are in the same shade, in the same colorway, they completely look different because some of them start with the like orange one and some of them start with the purple one, and the others have like here, this is the same shade as here, so they're not balled up, if I can say so. They're not balled up exactly in the same order of color. This is the same with the blue one here for this flower motif. These are the blue shades, and as you can see, they're not exactly bold the same. But they all have the same colors, like some of them are just inside all the balls. So this is, I'm about to finish the color yoke section. I think I have like here a pinkish reddish motif more to go, and then I'll be finished, I guess. Let me check. And then the green leaf section again here, and then it will be finished. So I have 2 more motifs to go to finish the color yoke section, and then I'll be going on to the simple stockinette part, which I love. I love a simple stockinette. I love knitting a simple stockinette, especially because I watch films a lot. So it's a perfect way to accompany my watching sessions. And I want to state that the Birkin is not for beginners, because you're holding 3 yarns at the same time at times, and you have to catch the flows as well, so it's kind of not easy. So this is the first time I'm working with 3 yarns in stranded colorwork at the same time. So just if you're planning to knit one, just keep this in mind, because even though I watched a couple of people talk about this, I haven't heard that this requires, like, at times 3 colors in the same round. So just keep that in mind. My last work in progress is the Marie Pillow by Petiteknit, which is another color work. I have a lot of color work on my needles, but this is a slip stitch color work. This is a pillowcase, and so you work with 1 strand of color for each row. This is worked in a garter stitch, so the gray bead-like stitches, they're actually the pearls that pop in between the knit stitches. So this is the back of the work, which is also a great motif pattern. I think this pattern is one of the patterns in Ranunculus, if I'm not mistaken. And I am using, I'm knitting it in 3mm needles, US 2.5, and I'm using Nullalanka house yarns, Nullalanka extra fine merino, which is 108 meters in 50 grams. I'm using these 2 shades. I don't know what this one is. I think it's also the same as this one, but I don't have a label for it, so I'm not exactly sure, because I thrifted it, both of these yarns, from an online shop. A lot of yarn brands, they're produced in Turkey and then shipped to the countries they are based. So this is one of them, house yarns, which is a Finland-based yarn brand. So this one is also produced in Turkey. So I'm guessing that this is also house yarns, but I'm not sure. So this would be a pillowcase. I made a couple of mistakes. Like here, I had to tie here because here I made my slip stitch holding in the front, but I was meant to hold it in the back, so I made a mistake. How I corrected it, and I realized it very late, like a lot of rows later, and this is how I fixed it. I just pulled here, like very tightly at the back, and then I tied it. I think I made another mistake here now that I can see, like here. I think this is the line that I messed up with the while you're knitting this, you just start with knitting one and slipping one, and then for the other like for the gray section, you just knit two and then slip one. I think this is the place I messed up, because I just knit one and then knit one again instead of knitting two and slipping one. But it's okay, I'm okay with it. Especially when you put it like this. This is a 40 by 40 centimeter pillowcase. So the pattern comes in 3 sizes. This is the first size, which is for 40 by 40 pillows. And I'm using the recommended needle size, but I cast on 20 stitches less than the recommended stitch count, because I thought that it would be enough, especially when it's blocked. And now I can say that I made a very correct choice, because it's already like suitable for a 40 by 40 centimeter pillow. I have another color work on my needles which I'm very excited about, which is a vest. So this is Gertrude by Susan Crawford. This vest comes in 2 color choices. One of them is like here, they're in purple, and the colors are kind of different than this one. This is the second option that I'm knitting on. And this will be staked, and I'm so uncomfortable about it. So these this would be the neck opening, and here they are the armhole openings. After they are sticked, they would be. And the back and the front, they have different patterns. So the back of the vest is just all in 1 by 1 color. But the front, it has a different pattern, and it looks amazing. And I realized that I made some mistakes. Here, as you can see, there should be like one more row of dark brown, and here I made the same mistake. I just left it like this, and here I made it correct. Had I noticed it before, I would just leave it like the other ones, so that they would match exactly. But I didn't realize it until it was too late. So it's just something that I wasn't aware of. So this would be my first staking project. And I should say that this, even though this is an easier pattern to work on because it's only 1x1 color work in the back and you only use 2 colors at a time for the front texture. This one is harder to work on because it's harder to memorize the patterns. The pattern repeats are like, I think 24 or 28 stitches, and especially here, this section, this is, I think this is the hardest part to work on. For the front section, the pattern repeat, like you can see there's this circle here and here, but in the sample picture, by the way, this is a pattern on Susan Crawford's book Echoes. It also has, she also has a cardigan version of this same pattern. So this is the purple one. This is the purple one. And that is the blue one. So if you can see, there's this pattern repeat here, like it finishes here and like keeps on here. I didn't do it. I couldn't do it because there was no instruction about it. It just, the pattern just says keep knitting in pattern. So after you decrease for the neck opening, there are 2 separate sections, and there's this stick part in the middle. So you have 2 separate sections for the fronts. And the stitch count for the first section of the front, including the stitch count, it fits perfectly for the motif, for the pattern repeat, which is, I think it's 24 stitches. So I thought that the pattern repeat is calculated including the stitches that would be sticked, because it makes 24 stitches in total. And then you start the pattern again for the second section of the front. But it seems that it's the stick stitches should not be calculated as the pattern repeats. So this is something I didn't do correctly, I guess. So mine does not look as hers does, her sample does. But it's okay, I still love it. One other thing that I have some issues, so if you have any suggestions, please leave it in the comments below, because when I'm changing colors at the beginning, because you change colors a lot for this vest, I have, if you can see, a lot of holes for the beginning of row. And this would be a sticking section here in the middle. And I don't know how I can manage sticking the section and like here with these holes. I don't know. Just help me, please. I'm not so experienced in color work. So these are the holes. See? This is the beginning of row. I have another whip, which is a crochet design I am working on, but this summer I worked on a lot of crochet projects, and unfortunately I hurt my wrists and I had to just stop knitting and crocheting for more than a month. I just didn't touch on any of my projects during that time. Now that I feel better, I am going on to knit my projects. The last whip I want to talk about is the crochet design that I am working on. I first started this in the summer, and then my hand hurt really bad and I stopped it, and I haven't touched it since. It's been like a month and a half, I guess, maybe more, maybe 2 months. So this is the pattern that I'm working on. It's a beach cover-up, and I'm crocheting it with 100% silk yarn. I finished all the crochet stuff. I'm not sure I can make some kind of stripe here to just hold this section together because it keeps moving like this. I'm adding the fringes right now, and I'll weave in the ends, and I think I might have to glue the yarn ends because they keep moving, because it's a very slippery silk yarn. And then I don't know, maybe I could just comb these fringes. I'm not sure. But this is, and I don't have a name for it yet. Let me show the back side. That is the back of my work. You have this very cool cross stripe going in the back, and the pieces are crocheted separately and then seamed together, and then worked in the round for this bottom section of the skirt. And of course here, these are the same motifs that are here. I first crocheted the ends, and then I crocheted the breast cups, and then I crocheted them together with some chains, and then I made the sides with some decreasing mesh stitches. This pillowcase is another finished object of mine because I started taking sewing lessons. This is the third project that I finished in sewing. So we learned to make this pillowcase. The other one is like with a hidden zipper here. So this is sewn in 2 pieces, and this is sewn in 3 pieces. The front and the back panel has 2 separate pieces. I don't have a sewing machine yet, so I'm just sewing on the machines that the class provides us. The other sewing projects are this is the first project that I finished in my sewing class. This is a very simple but cute, okay, small bag. And my second finished object as a sewing project is this very cute project bag, which has very nice fish motifs on them. And I have this red strip. Yeah, so Young Folk Knits is holding a make-along, which is called Fibertales. So this would be a very nice work to join the call. And we'll be sewing a makeup kind of bag in the next lesson. So I'll be using the same fabric with the fish, so that's also another example to join the MEL of Young Folk Knits. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you find my stuff inspirational, knitspirational, or if you liked it, please consider giving it a thumbs up. And please consider subscribing to keep on watching what I do, what I knit, crochet, sew, what I make. I'm also knit. So I'll see you next time. Bye.